8259 Programmable Interrupt Controller PIC Part 1. In this lecture, we will see introduction of 8259, and after that we try to understand the pin diagram of 8259 with the function of each individual pin. Thereafter, the features of 8259 is presented, and after that single 8259 interfacing with 8259 8085 is explained, and finally the cascading mode of 8259 is explained, and we will see how to increase interrupt handling capability of 8085 with the interfacing of multiple 8259 with 8085. Before starting of 8259 PIC, first we should know why microprocessor needs 8259. Let me explain this by basics of interrupt in 8085. The pin diagram of 8085 is shown in figure 1. 8085 microprocessor has 5 hardware interrupts from pin 6 to pin. In these interrupts, trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5 and RST 5.5 are vectored interrupt, whereas INTR is non-vector interrupt. Now we should know the basic difference between vectored interrupt and non-vectored interrupt. If we go into the basic knowledge of physics, we know that a vector is a quantity that has direction. Similarly, here we can say that a vector interrupt is the one which has a specific pointer pointing towards the interrupt service routine. Or in other words, we can say that a vector interrupt is where the CPU actually knows the address of interrupt service routine in advance. In 8085 microprocessor, the subroutines of trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5 and RST 5.5 are written in memory at location 0024H, 003CH, 0034H and 002CH respectively. Unlike vector interrupt, a non-vectored interrupt is where the interrupting device never sends an interrupt vector. An interrupt is received by the CPU and it jumps the program counter to a fixed address in hardware. The vector address of INTR is not known to this 8085, therefore INTR is called non-vector interrupt. Now we will see the need of 8259 PIC for microprocessor by a simple example of real life problem by animated graphics. Since vector of INTR is not known to 8085, therefore an external device is needed which will provide the vector address for this INTR. So microprocessor needs a device which can tell about the interrupt. Now we will see the need of 8259 PIC for microprocessor. Now we will see the need of 8259 PIC for microprocessor by a simple example of real life problem by animated graphics. Let's see, director sir is busy in some important work in his cabin. One student comes to him and asks him to come in. Since sir is busy, he says to student to wait. After completing his work, he asks student to come in and start discussing his problem. Meanwhile, now he appoints a secretary. Now see this process again from beginning. Student came and asked the secretary that he wants to meet director sir for his problem. Secretary said, okay, you may go. He enters and meet with director sir. Second student meanwhile come to secretary and he also says that he want to meet director sir. But now secretary says wait to him. By this way, time is reduced to solve the student problem. Similar process is applied by 8259 PIC to interface IOs with 8085. Suppose a number of input-output devices, it means IOs, are going to communicate with 8085. Each IO will send an interrupt to microprocessor. Here we can see like red line, each IOs are sending interrupt to microprocessor. Now microprocessor will check the priority of each input. Now, microprocessor will check the priority of each interrupt and will generate an interrupt acknowledged to higher priority interrupt for communication. The disadvantage of this approach is that continuous checking of priority will make whole system very slow. Therefore, it comes to a need of external device which can perform the interrupt operation when it communicates with multiple interrupt system. Now, 8259 PIC controller is used as an interface device. It takes interrupt requests from the IO devices and sends an interrupt signal to 8085. When it gets interrupt acknowledged signal from it, it will tell higher priority IO's device that your interrupt request has been accepted. Now that device start communication with 8085. The whole process. The pin diagram of 8259A is shown in figure 4. Only difference between 8259 and 8259A is 8259A is designed for 8080, 8085, 8086 and 8088, whereas 8259 is designed only for 8080 and 8085. Here, first pin is CS bar, which is called chip select pin, which is an active low input signal. When 8259 is ready to use, a low signal is applied at this pin. A low on this pin enables read and write communication between CPU and 8259A. The signal is made low by decoding the address assigned to this chip. Pin 2 and pin 3 are also active low input pins. A low on pin 2 when CS bar is also low enables the 8259 to accept command word from 8085. A low on pin 3 when CS bar is also low enables this 8259 to release status such as pending interrupts or in service interrupts or mask interrupt on the data bus for the CPU. For communication with the processor, there are 8 bidirectional pins D0 to D7 from 4 to 11 are used. Control status and interrupt vector information is transferred via these data bus. Further, pin 12, 13 and 15 are cascaded pin, which form a local 8259 bus to control multiple 8259 in master-slave configuration. We simply say that the combination of CAS0, CAS1 and CAS2 will generate an identification number for the slave mode 8259. We will see the use of CAS0, CAS1 and CAS2 in upcoming slide. Further, pin 16 are SP/EN pin, which SPEN stands for slave program or enable buffer. This pin serves dual function. When it is used in EN bar pin, it provides an active low output pin that controls the buffer transceiver. In non-buffer mode, SPEN pin is used to determine whether the 8259 is to be used in master mode or in slave mode. If value of SPEN is equal to 1, then 8259 will work in master mode. Otherwise, if its value is equal to 0, then this 8259 will work in slave mode. We will see how it works in master mode and slave mode in cascading mode configuration of 8259. Pin 17 is INT pin. This is active high input pin which interrupts the processor. It is always connected to INTR interrupt input of 8085. There are 8 asynchronous interrupt request input from pin 18 to pin 25. These interrupts can be programmed for level triggered or age triggered mode. IR0 has highest priority and the priority order decreases as we go from IR0 to IR7. Pin 26 is interrupt acknowledge pin, which is termed as INTA bar. It is an active low input pin. The 8259 receives the signal by INTA bar from the output of 8085. Pin 27 is A0 pin. It is address input pin which is used along with read and write, and it is used to identify the various command work. Further, pin 28 and pin 40 is power supply and ground pin. Plus 5-volt power supply is used. Let's see features of 8259 PIC. 8259 is designed for 8085 and 8086 microprocessor. It can be programmed either in level triggered or in age triggered interrupt level. We can mask individual bits of interrupt request register. Further, interfacing of single PIC provides 8 interrupt inputs from IR0 to IR7. We can increase interrupt handling capability up to 64 interrupt level by cascading 98259 PIC. Therefore, we can increase the interrupt handling capability of 8085 and 8086 by connecting with 8259. Clock cycle is not required in 8259, and 8259 combines the multi-interrupt input sources into a single interrupt output. Interfacing of single 8259 with 8085 is shown in figure. First step is to send an active low pulse on chip select pin of 8259 so that 8259 can be activated to process the interrupt request of IOs to 8085. Active low pulse is provided by 3:8 decoder. The data lines of 8259, here shown D0 to D7, are connected to AD0 to AD7 of 8085. Read and write signals are connected to read and write signals of 8085 respectively. The interrupt request signal INT from 8259 is connected to INTR signal of 8085, and further interrupt acknowledgement signal INTA of 8085 is connected to interrupt acknowledgement signal of 8259. As single 8259 is going to interface with 8085, therefore SPEN pin is tied high and cascaded pins CAS0 to CAS2 lines are left open. The 8 IR inputs are available for interrupt signals. If any interrupt appear at any of the interrupt pin, then 8259 will send an interrupt request signal INT at INTR pin of 8085. Further, after execution of current instruction, 8085 will send an interrupt acknowledgement signal INTA to INTA pin of 8259 and start processing of interrupt operation with 8085. Now, the address of 8259 is decoded by the address buses from A0 to A7. Here we can see A0 is directly connected to A0 pin of 8259. Therefore, the A0 value may have either 0 or 1. So it is don't care condition value. Further, chip select pin is activated by 3:8 decoder. Here first pin is connected to chip select pin. This is activated by combination of A1, A2, A3 which is 0, 0, 0. Here we can see A1. Further, G2 bar is activated by a low active input pulse. This pulse is obtained by a high value at A4 to A7. So A4 to A7 are having the values of 1111 and A1, A2, A3. This will provide the combination of 000 and A0 will be don't care condition, so it is represented by X. This combination is converted into hexadecimal form and 1111 is represented by F, and from A0 to A3, if A0 is having value 0, then it will provide address 0. If A0 is having value 1, then it will provide address 1. Therefore, with this combination we can see the address of 8259 is F0F. Next is cascading mode of 8259. The cascading mode configuration of 8259 with 8085 is shown in figure this. In this figure, the 8259 can be easily interconnected to get multiple interrupts to increase the interrupt handling capability up to 64 interrupts. It means we can get maximum of 64 interrupt handling capability by use of 98259 PICs. In cascade mode, 18259 is configured in master mode and other 8259 should be configured in slave mode as shown in this figure. In this configuration, first 8259 act in master mode, whereas second 8259 and third 8259 work in slave mode. Each slave mode 8259 is identified by the number which is called identification number, which is assigned as part of its initialization. If we see in this figure, we can easily get that the second and third 8259 can handle 16 interrupts, whereas first 8259 can handle 6 interrupts only. Since IR0 and IR1 pins of first 8259 are busy to handle slave 8259. Therefore, this configuration can handle maximum 22 interrupts. Since 8085 has only one INTR pin, therefore only one of 8259 INT pin is connected to 8085 INTR pin. Connected directly to 8085 INTR pin is referred as master 8259. The INT pin from other 8259, it means 8259 second and third 8259, are connected to IR inputs of master 8259. Here second 8259 INTR pin is connected to IR1 of master, and third 8259 INTR pin is connected to IR. The other most important connection is that the INTA pin of 8085 is connected to both master and slave INTA pin, whereas we can see that INTR pin of 8085 is connected only to INTR pin of master master 8259. Now we try to understand how the 8259 works in master and slave mode. When any of slave receives an interrupt signal on one of IR inputs of these pins, then it can check marks condition and priority of the interrupt request. If unmasked, interrupt is unmasked and its priority is higher than any other interrupt level being serviced in the slave, then the slave will send an INT signal to IR input of master. It means the 8 to 5 second 8259 or third 8251, any of these two 8259 receive an unmasked interrupt signal with higher priority, then it will send the INTR signal to the INTR signal at the input pin IR pin of master 8259. Now after getting the interrupt request from the slave, master will send interrupt request signal at 8085 INTR pin. If the INTR pin is enabled, the 8085 will go through this INTR pin and send three INTA interrupt acknowledgement pulse to both master and slave via data pin D0 to D7. In response to first interrupt acknowledge signal, opcode for call instruction is put on the data bus and the master outputs a 3-bit slave identification number on the CAS0 to CAS2 lines. In, in simple word, we can say that after getting the first INTA pulse, a master 8085 will generate and vector address with the combination of CAS0 to CAS2 pins, which will be the identification number of slave 8259s. Suppose here two 8259 are connected to master 8259, then CAS0 and CAS2 combination will be 000 for first 8259 and 000 for second 8259. After it means after getting first interrupt pulse, master will calculate the identification number of slave 8259 and put these numbers on these pins CAS0 to CA. If this sending 3-bit identification number enables the slave, Here the address may be combination of CAS0 to CAS2 pin. Since there are two slave 8259s, their address may be 000 and 001. Master will send this identification code to the slaves, and slave will compare their vector request with the code of cascaded pins to know whose interrupt request is accepted. When the slave received second INTA pulse from 8085, the slave will send, it means activated slave. Since simply we can say, when the slave compares its vector address with the identification number to know whose interrupt request is accepted, then after getting second INTA pulse from 8085, that activated slave will send the address low address byte of interrupt service routine ISR on the data bus. Finally, slaves send the higher byte of ISR on the data bus on receiving the third INTA pulse. In simple word, we can say that after getting the INTR pulse from master, 8085 will send 3 pulse interrupt acknowledgement signal. First pulse first pulse is used to get the identification number and compare these numbers with the slave 8259 to know which slave is activated. It means which slave has getting the signal of its INTR request accepted. And after this, when second INTA pulse is obtained, then lower byte address of ISR is put on the data bus. And further, when the third INTR pulse is obtained, then higher byte address. In this lecture, we try to understand the interfacing of single 8259 and cascading mode of 8259 and need of 8259, pin configuration of 8259. These topics is completed. These topics are completed in this lecture. Now the next lecture will be the block diagram representation and operation of 8259. Thank you.